And
Mm.
that was a cover story. And then the Geddy Lee thing, that I'm a lifelong Rush fan.
Yeah.
So when Joel rang me, says, "Ellen, are you up for doing the Geddy interview?" I was like, "Bloody hell, yes." But he was like, "Look, I'll go with you because you're such a fan. You might not be able to speak." speak. I was like, "I'll be fine." And I, when he walked in, so we went to this hotel, like, and it was like a really, really posh hotel in West London, like it was like Kensington or something. That's what it was. Yeah, it is beautiful, like chandeliers, tiers of coffee and tea and cake and all that stuff. And brought in by his agent and all that. Sit down, And then Geddy Lee's shown in, and he's just exactly as he appears. He's just real kind of like, oh hey, I want to, hockey t-shirt, like shuffling it, like so down to earth, so sound, mad nerd to talk about bass, and
Yeah, he has a
and he
book
just
out,
sat
doesn't he?
down.
The big bass book or something. He's mad
That
into it.
was that was what the interview was about. We
Okay.
weren't talking about Rush too much, And obviously Neil was alive at the time, but Neil
Mm.
didn't tell anyone he was sick. Um, but so it was just all about basses and stuff like that. And then I got in a bit of, so at first I was just like this and I was shaking. And then Joel is so used to it. Like he was like, "Hi, Katie. So this is my writer, Alan." He was like, "Oh, pleased to meet you." And I was like, "Fucking hell, like I'm obsessed with you." And then sit down and your name's Gary Lee Weiner. I know this. I know what your first dog was called. Like I know everything about you. And I was just sitting there going, "Oh my god, there he is, right there in front of me. This is mental." And then after a while, I just kind of calmed down. And then I was waffling to him, and then he was
Mm.
just engaged with me. And then Joel sneakily got up and just started taking photos of me and him just chatting. And we're by the fireplace with
Brilliant.
a load of cake. And I love that photo. I was just
That's
like, "Oh, this
class.
is class." Like, yeah,
Yeah, I
and
was about to ask how did you prepare for that interview, but obviously you know everything about Rush.
yeah, I did. I don't think I really did, like, because I already, I did a little bit of research on vintage bases because I knew his book was about that. But I kind
Mm.
of knew a lot about that anyway. But I learned more from Getty. He really knows his stuff. He was going on
Yeah,
about like the pickup, like how pickups were wound in this one particular year. I think it was like 1974 of Defender Jazzes, and it's that one year, and then his signature model and how it's based on that and all this stuff and
that's
like
so cool. That
and then the
that
socio-economic effects on the town where Fender was based and all
mm.
this, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know that much, like, I know what a split pickup is, man. I
Yeah,
know the
but
difference between a Pat's Magnum."
sometimes you need that in an interview, like because the listener will have the same knowledge as you, so you're learning together instead of two people who know everything. You're
Yeah,
not coming along with them then, like.
exactly, yeah, it was great. And then, Joel towards the end, I was like, "Oh god, Joel, shut up," like, he was like, "Oh, by the way," because I think I started talking about singing and playing bass, and
Mm.
he was like, "Oh, Ellen's a fantastic singing bass player," and he was like, "Oh, really? I must check you out on Instagram," and I'm like, "Oh my god, for fuck's sake, don't, will you? You're Geddy Lee, feck off," like.
No, that's class.